Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to this podcast of Intentionality. So we have heard some new information recently. You have plunged into an annual art festival. Tell us more about that annual art festival.
I think Chitra Santhe, that's an like annually every January, the first Sunday of the year. In fact, in the Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad campus, there's an art fair that goes on. It's an amazing event wherein artists from all over India, they come in, they participate, showcase their art. And people from all over, they come in and they see, and it's just it's visually so striking because you just go over to a fair, like everywhere there's art, like there's like a huge area filled up with different varied forms of art. And you have artists who with so much passion has worked on it for maybe a year or more and showcasing it. So it's a wonderful initiative. And I have been a visitor for years. I would always go there because I love the vibe of the place. It was just so visually striking, and it just I was actually, every time I would visit, I was like completely in awe. I have a very dear friend with whom I visited, I think 2 years back, and she was like, I really want you to see, myself to see you there over there. Someday, I want you to see there. And then it came this year, last year, sorry. My mentor insisted that I think it's time that you make that, you try out and you try to participate in this. And now let me tell you that before this, I have had a mental blockage regarding all the, yes, I love painting, I enjoy it, everything, but I have had a huge problem in actually showcasing it in front of people. Possibly it comes from a fact that I was not ready to get the feedback or be completely open to the feedback. It was so personal and precious to me. I was like, what if people say this is so not up to the mark? I didn't know if I could process it because it was just too personal a process. So it was never there anything on social media, just very close friends knew about it. And I just couldn't make that step of just going out and showcasing it in a small stall even. And I had the most wonderful people around me who have supported, who have encouraged. But in my mind, I couldn't convince myself to do that. I was like, I'm just not good enough. I'm not ready. And all those kind of confusions came in my mind. But this time, thanks to my mentor and thanks to my dear husband, who, by the way, with whom I learned painting, that's again has been a wonderful experience for me because he's been like, we both learn it together.
Nice.
So when that happened, my mentor insisted that I think you are ready. It's my conviction. Go ahead and let's do it. So I participated over there this time. With my mentor and husband, and oh my god, I just couldn't believe. I think 6:30 a.m. in the morning I reached over there, and I had to control my tears because I just couldn't believe this was happening. And finally,
Emotional time.
it was an emotional time. So irrespective of, the day was wonderful. Like all my colleagues, my friends, my family, all of them came in to support. And the exposure that I got, how artists perceived. I have been on the other end of the counter. So just to see how people perceive, what attracts them, and what they like to consume. And just that energy, that vibe of that place, it was just so wonderful. But personally, deep inside, I think it was a very big day for me because I just went beyond that mental barrier. So for other people, it's like the first time she's just participating. For me, it was just getting rid of one of those things which was keeping me hold back.
So would you say that it was a progression of an artist in you?
Definitely so. And I got I just found a sense of purpose. Suddenly I was like, oh my god, I can do so more. I just felt that okay, I'm just putting in this much effort, there's so much more to be done. There is so many forms of art, and we tend to live in a cocoon of our own, right? Where everything that we are doing are of supreme importance, and suddenly you participate in something like this, where more than 1,200 artists are in present, and then you realize, okay, it's not that. You have to just be a little more aware and just give more effort, experiment more, just live more probably, and enjoy your art. So it was a huge learning for me, and a wonderful one, I must say. And that day when I came in and slept, it was a different sleep altogether. I think the next day I definitely woke up as a different person, for sure.
What was the difference?
just that sense of what I had in that clarity in my mind, that what I want to do ahead. So yeah.
Do you think it helped you attend, because you said you visited those as a consumer, as a visitor, and then you were there yourself portraying your own art? Was it different? Like, what did you learn from that experience? Did it really help you be there before, or it would have been different if you had just gone and showcased your art directly?
I think it definitely helped me, the fact that, I was there before. I kind of knew that how it's going to look like, and I had a sense of there was that familiarity was there. I was not suddenly like, what is happening on this planet? So that familiarity was definitely helpful. But if I can say so, when I was there as a visitor, even if my friend encouraged me, I didn't have that conviction in myself. So I was like, okay, fine, that person is saying it's okay. She loves me, that's why she's saying so. But I was not convinced myself to take that step. So other than the familiarity factor, not really. When I went there, it was a completely different mindset, if I can say. But I remembered, like, when people were visiting, right, I could see myself over there. Yeah, I also go like that, maybe stand for a second. Maybe next time when I see something, I should spend some more time understanding it. Because for us consumers, we see and we go over, right? But for that artist, actually, there's so much effort, so much of that personal experience that has gone on to creating that particular piece, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit on the human side, definitely I learned probably to be a better consumer next time. So
it's very interesting, and thank you for bringing that up, because it kind of makes me think about how, when you do marketing and how consumers consume it. They say, for example, you post something on a social media channel, that's a LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or Meta, let's call it Meta. So if some of those things there, people scroll through it. They probably hardly spend any amount of time, and you have just that amount of time to capture their attention.
Yes, exactly.
How you use this information in the marketing that you do?
So yeah, as you said, it's about making an impact in a very small, like, you have this little window, in that you make or break it, right? Of course, in marketing, we have, like, it's all today in the kind of competition we have. We literally have like a few seconds, maybe 1 second. Let's not call even a few seconds.
Yeah.
In 1 second, whether you are able to attract through your messaging, through your visuals, that's what decides it. Because then after, once that first contact happens, then the rest of the the marketing efforts come into place. So yes, that was a huge learning from just making sure that, because when we are thinking, okay, like, this is my art, I love it, great, but presentation, that's another factor. Like, other than the art, where you are positioning it, like how you are showcasing it, how is it arranged, basics like this, right? And first, when in the morning, like when we were putting our art, right, it was in a different format, and then we realized it's somehow it's not resonating well. Like, people are not stopping by much. They're just like, it's probably hidden, or it's not just like, it's not that catching their eyeballs much. Then we changed it around, and things changed. And isn't it the same for marketing? We try out we have a set assumption in mind. Okay, this is what my strategy is going to be.
Start with the hypothesis.
And then we see the consumer behavior, and depending on it, we have to constantly make sure that we are adaptive enough, and we take those prompt decisions just from the data that we get.
Absolutely.
Which is God, I feel. On the basis of the data, we make those tweaks and changes, and work on, and take those actions on time, and see the results.
I think it's absolutely a combination of what you are showing to the user experience that you are creating by showing what you are showing, and that I think that's the best way that I would put marketing as.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now you are an established artist. With you having a place in the festival, and if you had to really grow further, what would your dream be like? What is Shubhanjana's dream for painting?
I think just going all out with what my mind says, probably. In painting, I would say, don't think too much. I'll be like, whether I'll be able to do this, or not hold myself back, for sure. What I want to do is, I feel that in Hindi we have a term called Tapasya, right? It's like that. And if my efforts are in the right direction, Commercializing is of course that's an important aspect if you want to do it or not. It's a matter of choice, but I see it as a tapasya. So it's like you continuously work on it and polish it, and just see your own growth. Then the rest of the factors would put it. I don't want to do it to suit people's minds in this case, because it's then I'll like lose out on my own voice in this particular case. So this is a very exclusive case I'm talking about, because here probably comes in the difference between those two things, right? In between marketing and painting that we are seeing.
Yeah, I was my next question, so you can answer them together. My next question was, because this looks a little bit contradictory to what a marketeer would dream of, right?
Yes.
One is you suit to the needs of your consumer versus one you suit to what you want to express.
Exactly.
So I tell me, what are your dreams as an artist and as a marketeer?
And as an artist, I would like to stay true to my authentic self, my own voice, how I like to perceive things. So that expression needs to go out there. I wouldn't like to tweak it or like get it, changed as per people's opinion. Of course, constructive opinion is great. I would like to, constantly do better. But then I don't want to lose out on my own voice for sure on that front. And I do see it as a tapasya. Like I continuously need to make that effort to polish it. And that's for my own self-satisfaction. Right. And I think if that happens, automatically the rest of the factors are they fall into place. But as a marketeer, I have a different story to tell. There, depending on how the consumer tastes are changing, how the consumer behavior is changing, we have to constantly make that effort to be adaptive enough, to make those informed decisions quicker enough, and just stay very updated. I think the moment we try to be a little laid back, the entire world changes. That's how it is.
Very fast.
In fact, in terms of dreams, I have very different answers to say for both of these things. But I think at the end of the day, the entire idea comes down to the fact that being very focused on both, and just make sure that you understand what it demands out of you, and make that particular effort in those directions.
Yeah, I think it's more like you as a painter, your dreams are like you telling your story, whereas marketeer, your dreams sound more like telling a story that you want to listen.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely so.
So tell me, what advice would you like to give to an upcoming marketeer, someone who is trying to get into that profession?
I think a lot of theory is available on the internet, especially with regards to digital marketing. There's ample amount of information that you have all going around you, but then theory definitely is important to understand the concepts correct. But at the end of the day, it's about just plunging into it. And for me personally, I started off with internships. After I left my corporate job, I actually again started from scratch with an internship, and that worked wonderfully for me, because the demands of this job is very different. You get a sense of things when you start off as an intern, and that gradual growth of it doesn't get too difficult for you to gulp in. You can actually make that effort to learn and just make yourself much more empowered, upskilled.
So there's no pressure as such, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly so I think not putting too much thought about what I'm going to do in long term. Just take one step at a time. And I feel that with all the information available, one shouldn't, if you want to be a marketer, don't hold back, don't think twice, just take that step. So that's definitely there.
And what about for a painter? Would it be any different, or anything very, very specific or similar lines? What would that be?
So I have an interesting thing to say. So my mentor, Robin Mondol, I think I have mentioned about him quite a few times as part of a conversation, because I have the hugest amount of gratitude for him. So he says that there's an artist in every single person. There's that hidden talent there. Whether you want to actually work on it is your calling. So we hear a lot of things saying, I'm not an artist, I'm not that good at it. It's not about what is being good in this aspect, right? It's a very, it's a very subjective matter. So if you feel just take that, whatever art form it is, it's not about painting. Just find that little time for yourself, which is very exclusive to you. I think for any human, especially with the times getting difficult, our lives getting a little too complicated, just making the little time for yourself, whatever art form you like, so that you have something which is very exclusive to you, which is your own, and which is very authentic. So yeah, that would what I would like to recommend for any artist.
Okay. I have a last question for you.
Okay.
What is intentionality for you?
I think just having that clarity of purpose, right? So I think we all as humans, we all are destined, or we all have that one purpose in life which we're supposed to make. I do believe in that philosophy. So intentionality is all about making the efforts, trying to figure out, or just working towards that particular sense of purpose in life.
Thank you so much, Shubhanjana. Thank you for this wonderful talk, wonderful podcast, and hoping all the best for you in your role as a marketeer and also as a painter.
Thank you so much, Apeksha. It was so lovely talking to you. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me.